this is Nicole Roberts. I'm outside in the backyard right now with my cute little baby Reagan and my son Roman playing in the mud there. And we came out here with the intention of finding baby birds. The reason for that is right in our kitchen window, right by my kitchen sink, a couple of birds built their nest and they laid some eggs and 2 little baby birds hatched. And the place that they built their nest was right inside of the rain gutter. So it was only about this big, but I had the perfect view. I could see right in. And I saw when they were hatched and I got to see these tiny, tiny little birds and they were so cute and they would hide. One of them was braver than the other and kind of poked its head out a little sooner than the other, and the other always stayed in the background. And it was really fun to watch them over the last week as they grew and they got bigger and they got a little braver and they got more feathers. And the bigger they got and the braver they got, they would poke their little heads out of the end. And if I opened the window to try to take a picture, they'd scamper down and hide in the very back of the rain gutter. But after a while, they got used to me opening the window to peek at them, and they didn't mind, and they'd poke their heads out. And as their mom came to bring them food, they would stick their necks out, and I was so worried for them. I was so scared they were going to fall out of their nest because they were getting too brave. And I noticed over the last couple of days, they started to get antsy and they were moving around. They weren't just sitting. They weren't just poking their heads out of that little hole. They were literally wiggling around and ruffling the feathers and lifting their wings up. They were so antsy. And it was really interesting because at first, they didn't mind being in that tiny little space. It was very comfortable for them. And they were very happy being in a dark, confined area. And they were comfortable there. And they didn't want to be outside. But as they got bigger and as they grew and as they got stronger, they didn't want to be in there anymore. I could tell they were so ready to leave. And I kept watching them thinking, but they're not strong enough yet. They're too little. If they try to leave, they'll fall. And it was pretty far down. And this morning, when I woke up, I went to check on the babies like I have been doing every single morning. And they were gone. And at first I thought, maybe they're just sleeping. Maybe they're down, further back in where they were originally, where they used to like to hide. And I kept checking and kept looking and kept waiting. And they were gone. The babies were not there anymore. And I was sad a little bit. And I got a little worried. Because I thought, they must have fallen out. They must have died. Maybe my dog got them. It was really sad. And it was, call me pathetic for caring that much, but I was worried. And so I strapped Reagan to me and I got Mr. Roman over there dressed and I said, we need to go find those baby birds. I think they fell out of their nests. We need to go check on them. So we came out here in the backyard and much to my delight, they didn't fall out of their nest. There's not dead babies laying on the ground. They're gone because they flew away. They're with their mom and dad flying around in these trees behind me. And they're so happy. And they're so grateful that they left their nest. It's amazing. And it made me think that we, as people, as individuals, if we're comfortable in our own situation, the reason for that is because we're not growing. If we were growing, we would realize we needed to get out of where we're at, and we need to do more and be more so that we could fly, so that we could see a completely different world. The only view these baby birds have had for the last week of their life is the side of my house, the side of my blue house, and sometimes peeking through my kitchen window. And they were okay with that for a while, but they got sick of looking at the same old thing. They got sick of it. They wanted to see what the rest of the world had to offer. And so finally, they stepped out. And guess what? Me, in my ignorant, naive state, thought they couldn't do it. And I realized that that way of thinking is just like our friends, our family, our neighbors. The people that we surround ourselves with, they think, no, don't branch out. You can't leave. You can't do something bigger or better than what you're doing. You'll get hurt. You'll fall. You won't make it. You cannot fly yet. You are not strong enough. But we are. And as long as we are doing the things we need to grow and become better, then pretty soon, that little pipe, our little life, is not going to be comfortable for us anymore. And we're going to be able to fly because we really are strong enough. It's really amazing. And I'm grateful today for those 2 tiny little birds that showed me and proved to me that we're capable of a lot more than we think. And that if we aren't growing, then that's why we're comfortable. And if we are growing, then we'll eventually get more and become more by default. So my question to you is, what are you doing to grow today? To get outside of your comfort zone so that you can change the view in your life and stop looking at the side of a building and start flying in the trees.